Hey everyone, it's Jack from Cultaholic.com back again with another big news update. We have news of WWE's brand split and how it may or may not be affected heading into this new Fox deal when SmackDown Live moves to Fox in 2019. Will the brand split remain? Will it become more separate? Will it become more together? Will there be no brand split? We'll have a look at that in due course. Also, some news of an NXT superstar who is rumoured to be in for a big push once they hit the main roster. And finally as well, some sad but happy news regarding Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who recently was in an intensive care unit. In fact, I think he still is, but should hopefully be released soon. All of that coming up in this video. Let's get on with it and let's get looking at the news. Ended a bit strangely there, but I'm going to keep it in. So, in the past few months, there's been rumours floating around that maybe this new SmackDown Live move to Fox will result in the end of the brand split altogether, because WWE and Fox will want all of the top stars on the roster on that show because it's on Fox. It's a big exclusive, a big lucrative new deal. They want to make the most of it, and I can totally see that making sense. Not all of the top stars are on SmackDown, even though some of them are, like AJ Styles, Becky Lynch, that sort of thing, Daniel Bryan, Charlotte Flair, but a lot of the top stars are also on Raw. So I thought this had a lot of credence. I was like, yeah, we're probably going to see the end of the brand split soon. Not according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, who suggests that this new deal for SmackDown Live on Fox will actually result in the brand split not only remaining as it is, but actually getting more severe and more pronounced. At least that's the way that I read it. Meltzer suggests that Fox have no interest whatsoever in cross-promoting stars with NBC Universal. Obviously, they would be showing Monday Night Raw. Fox don't want anything to do with that. They don't want to promote the same stars. So, in a strange way, it's actually making the brand split a little bit more real because they're on two different networks. We've seen that before. The brand split's often been on two different networks. But this one, I've never seen the battle lines drawn quite so much as this. And it's not kayfabe. This is real. So Fox don't want to cross-promote stars. They just want the SmackDown ones to be in their spotlight. Whereas over on NBCU, that'll just be the Raw guys. At least that is what we've been sort of told via The Observer. That's what it suggests. I also wonder what this means for Survivor Series, because obviously network specials occur on WWE's own network, so they'd be under no obligation, I think, with Fox to really change the way that Survivor Series has worked in the past few years. But I think because there's so much money on the table with the Fox deal, this could spell trouble for Survivor Series. It could see the end of the Raw versus SmackDown concept, or it could maybe, I guess it could maybe see the end of Survivor Series as a whole, but that would make me very sad actually, and I don't really want to see that. But I think if Fox is so adamant that they only want to promote the stars of SmackDown on their own channel, that would dissuade WWE from using Survivor Series video packages in the build-up and the aftermath. They wouldn't be an invasion angle like we've seen the past couple of years. So, yeah, I wonder what this means for Survivor Series, and I wonder whether this whole mindset will remain in place, because The Observer pointed out that there's still several months to go until the deal kicks in, and in the words of Meltzer, anything could change until then. Meltzer also spoke in this week's newsletter about Lars Sullivan. We all know now that Lars is going to be called up to either Raw or SmackDown. There's been vignettes on both. The rumour mill online seems to be leaning more towards SmackDown, but there's certainly no confirmation of that. A reason behind it was that Lars Sullivan reportedly is seen as the smaller Braun Strowman. Putting him on Raw next to Braun Strowman isn't really going to do anyone any favours, whereas on SmackDown he's got generally a smaller roster to work with and throw around and that sort of thing, and could help him get over a little bit more. But there's more on this story, as according to Meltzer, Lars Sullivan is not only going to make his main roster debut soon, he's going to be in line for a big push. That's very interesting to me. He was never treated as one of the top stars of NXT. He would get the occasional title shot or appear in the occasional big match, such as the ladder match at TakeOver New Orleans, but he was never given a real run. He was never the main guy, mainly because there's just so many other fantastic, some of the best wrestlers in the world on NXT, and compared to them, Sullivan does seem a little bit green. What is working in Sullivan's favour is the fact that, like Elias, he seems more finely tuned to be a success on the main roster rather than the more work rate heavy NXT. He's more of a character, and he certainly can wrestle, he can certainly go, but he's more of an old school George the Animal Steel type savage, isn't he? That's more what he seems to be. Sullivan is set to wrestle Keith Lee on the next episode of NXT, and while we won't spoil what happens in that match, just by virtue of the fact that he's got a match on NXT TV and he's so close to a main roster call-up and there's vignettes playing and everything, everyone's kind of saying this could well be his last match on the yellow brand. And finally, we'd like to send our well wishes to WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who, according to a post by his own family on Instagram, was recently, and may still even be, in an intensive care unit. But it's not all bad news, because hopefully he should be out of there by Saturday. He's obviously 64 years old. Health problems will arise now and then, especially when people get older, and especially former wrestlers. And apparently, he does even still wrestle occasionally. What a trooper, what a man. I nearly did the whole thing, but I'm not going to do it. I don't think I'm American enough for that. But yes, we wish Hacksaw a speedy and full recovery, and thank you very much for watching this video. I've been Jack from Cultaholic.com. You can follow me if you want to on Twitter, @JackTheJobber. You can follow all of us at Cultaholic. And if you want to, you can check out our Patreon as well, patreon.com/Cultaholic. But the most important thing is to never forget, of course, if you haven't already, to hit subscribe and to join us.